Welcome back. It's Doug NPA out of another live stream. It is Monday, July 15th of 2024. I don't normally stream on Mondays, but I had to do a continuation of the show yesterday because it was so good. I just ran out of time. And we're going to cover the same thing today that we covered yesterday because I have more stories of women on their student loan debt repayment journey. So we're going to follow that up. It's going to be the standard format. I'm going to go over the crime files first. And just so you know, guys, the crime files is a $4.99 membership tier on my channel. Um, I do videos about women who have been accused of, are being prosecuted of, no, prosecuted for, or have been convicted of various crimes. I have to put those behind a membership tier because if you do videos about women and all their foolishness, you get limited monetization. So uh, I can't make any money off of it. But I like finding those kind of stories. So we're gonna start with a crime files story, and then also this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Uh, I'm dropping crime files videos outside the membership tiers, so check those out. And if you like it, hit the join button. I'd appreciate it. Become a member on my channel. I do about two or three of those videos a week. And so I see Whiteout. Always good to see you, my friend. Dante's in front of Purgatory. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And also, guys, this is a student loan debt video. So, like I say at the beginning of all my student loan debt videos, avoid women with a lot of debt, student loan debt in particular. It's not your problem, guys. It's not. A woman's debt, student loan debt in particular, should disqualify her for consideration for a serious relationship or marriage, guys. Do not do it. Not your problem. Okay? And a woman's debt is a reflection of her decision making processes or lack thereof. So, you guys, you're gonna get to an age, especially all you guys who don't have children, usually around like 35 to 40, where all the women around you who are single are probably gonna have kids and are definitely gonna be in more debt than you. So you got to have these important conversations, okay, guys? So, uh, oh, Pyro's in the house. Always good to see you, my friend. Yep. He said, "What else? If you're so smart, how come you have so much debt? 100%." Dante's insurance organizations, they're not too big to fail. Don't bail them out. 100% true, guys. 100% true. So this is the interesting crime files. This is hot off the presses, you guys. Today, okay. Let me share my screen real quick. It's an article, not a video, but it's actually pretty interesting because this this Brazilian influencer went to jail because she was trafficking women. You guys, what is going on here? Let's look at this. Look at this. It says former Instagram influencer turns slave trafficker. Kat Torres, who is featured on international magazines covers and partied with Leonardo DiCaprio, is jailed for luring model to U.S. to be exploited. That's right. Oh my goodness.
Jesus H. Christ.
So this is her at her height. Look at these magazine covers with her on it. And this is her in prison now. Look at that. Look at that. So let's see what happened with Miss Brazil here. Let me read some of it. It says, "From humble beginnings, Kat Torres would overcome extreme poverty to lead a coveted life of luxury, brushing shoulders with A-list celebrities and foreign oligarchs, and coaching some 14,000 clients on how to achieve greatness." Guys, don't take business advice, life advice, dating advice from women. Don't do it, guys. There's no excuse for you to do it. 14,000. This had better have been all women, at least 90%. But behind the scenes, the Brazilian wellness influencer and model has schemed a far more sinister plan to ensnare her followers in a cultish web of human trafficking and slavery. A judge concluded as she was sentenced to years in prison last month. Katushia Torres was deported back to Brazil and arrested in November of 2022 as allegations emerged about her life behind closed doors in the United States. After more than 18 months in jail, she was finally sentenced to 8 years in prison for subjecting one follower to human, and slavery. A judge assessed the victim had been lured abroad for exploitation.
Jesus H. Christ.
Guys, I'm telling you, most of these women, they talk about men, but women can't stand each other, and women do the absolute worst to each other, man. I'm telling you. And here's the thing: there's this myth of, you know, oh yeah, men should step aside and let women lead. First off, you have to take power. Power is not given away. Number one. Number two, this myth that women are just morally superior because of the women is a joke. Let me give that a big.
Nope.
Oh yeah, things will be so much better when women are in charge. Uh huh. Or give a woman that position. It'll be so much better. Uh huh. It says Miss Torres, a self-proclaimed a self-proclaimed witch. Uh oh.
Jesus H. Christ.
Reportedly inspired by spiritual leaders and business coaches, is accused of enticing impressionable victims to her home to work for her unpaid. One victim said they were used as a domestic slave, terrified of the work no, of the woman proclaiming to help her. Another claimed she was threatened with curses, told to work in a strip club for money withheld by Miss Torres. In a new BBC documentary, the guru maintained her innocence from prison in Rio de Janeiro, but with more than 20 women now claiming to have been scammed or exploited, horrifying revelations continue to emerge around the bizarre life of the Instagram influencer, once an inspiration to millions. Guys, name a word that is worse in the last 10, 15 years than influencer. How did that become a thing? How? How does being an influencer carry so much weight, you guys? Yikes. Yep. Whiteout says, this is crazy. We said to give women power is like to give a gun to a monkey. Yep. 100% true. Yep. I'm not saying that there are no capable women out there, but positions of power, you have to choose to do good or do bad, and it doesn't matter your race, your gender, your orientation. All people can choose to do evil. So that's her looking miserable in her jail. So look at that. So that was her in her heyday. That's her right there in prison. Says at her height, Kaitasucia Torres commanded a following of 1.2 million subscribers on Instagram, sharing wholesome, inspirational posts and life advice on relationship, business, and wellness. Hailing from Belém in northern Brazil, Miss Torres' story was itself inspirational. As a child from an impoverished background, she showed early ambition as a model, going on to pose in beauty pageants before moving to Europe to further her career. During her rise, Miss Torres moved to Los Angeles to pursue an acting career and documented her journey and influential lifestyle online, amassing a loyal following. It was after taking the powerful psychedelic drug ayahuasca that Miss Torres reinvented herself as a life coach and hypnotist. So she's a witch and a hypnotist, you guys. And you know how many women probably followed this woman and said, "Oh wow, she's great." Uh, in 2017, she published a self-help book called A Voice and appeared on Brazilian television, claiming she had always been guided by a voice from above, a spiritual connection that guided her work. Online, the influencer painted herself as an accomplished actor, model, author, and coach, uh, and watched her following swell from 1,000 to as many as 14,000, she claims. Many were Brazilian women hoping to learn from her, paying huge sums for her advice. Early on, um, online consultations started at 150, according to the BBC, but she was soon to be able to charge much more for her services. The most purchased annual plan, according to her website, was at 100 euros or 700 Brazilian dollars. Okay. So she's photographed with Leonardo DiCaprio at the Cannes uh, festival. Okay, so as a but behind the scenes, horrifying accounts of human trafficking and slavery were beginning to compile. Corbin Bell, her ex-husband, told the BBC Miss Torres was by definition a master manipulator. Loser Torsi, her former roommate, said she became an absolute narcissistic monster as her following grew. One former client told the broadcaster that she's recruited to join Miss Torres in New York to perform household chores as a live-in assistant. Anna, who had left an abusive relationship before joining Miss Torres, described 3 months of tyranny, claiming she was unpaid, was only able to sleep with when the influencer went out on a sofa covered in cat urine. Yikes, you guys. Ugh. Anna left after 3 months, but Miss Torres kept contacting her for 12. The alleged victim said, I felt like I'm stuck here. I didn't have a way out. Now I see that she was using me as a slave. She said she believed it was her plan to isolate everybody and said she became terrified of the woman professing to help her. Miss Torres denies that Anna worked in her house. So this is her lavish lifestyle in New York. That's a magazine cover with her in it. That's her. That's her in prison. Similar patterns emerged in Austin, Texas after Miss Torres moved in 2022. Desiree Freitas, another former client, said she received messages from Miss Torres claiming she was, didn't want to be here anymore and needed her help. She said she bought her tickets to travel across the United States to join her in Texas. But when she arrived, she said Miss Torres threatened her with curses and involved her in work in a strip club. Desiree was not allowed to work in the United States at the time. She claims Miss Torres told her she would revoke her help and expenses incurred if she left. She said she believed the job would be temporary. She earned thousands of dollars working in the club, but claims it was withheld by Miss Torres, who only set her uh, higher and higher earning targets. When she missed the spiraling target, she said she ended up sleeping on the street. Women staying with Miss Torres at the rented 5-bedroom mansion in Austin said they were forbidden from speaking with each other and could not leave their rooms without permission. Guys, what is going on here? Angel in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Jessica in the house.
Hello, hello. How's everyone?
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's
So,
going on?
as I was listening to what you were saying, I could only be reminding of another similar woman, which was AH. So
Oh yeah, yep.
I'm still in a way. I think it was a shock to all society to discover that these women are evil and that they have absolutely no moral compass up to the point that they will do anything which benefits them. It's very very revealing of female nature, that they're not the, let's say, the angels that they were portrayed to be by society. I don't know if you
Yeah,
feel the
yeah,
same.
exactly. Because like one of the reasons why I do the crime files on my channel is because, guys, I'm so tired when these stories come out, like when female teachers prey on their young male students and get pregnant and have a child and put a 14-year-old boy on child support, or when you see these women fighting and punching, or freaking there's a custody dispute between a man and his ex-wife, and the ex-wife gets
It's scandalous. Yeah,
freaking
yeah. Yeah, uses the children as the
no, 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 no,
pawns.
no, no, no,
No?
no, Jessica takes him out.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that I,
Society's reaction is, "Oh my God, I can't believe she did that. We have to understand where she's coming from." No, we don't. We don't give men that kind of grace. So if women want this equality, they want it so bad, that they shouldn't get any kind of grace or understanding either.
no,
But we
I agree.
still have that societal, like that visceral reaction, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened. She's a
Well,
woman." I
when
can't.
you say
But
society, actually you're saying women in society, because they always stick for each other in a way. So
no,
they
no, I'm gonna stop you, Jessica. It's men too. It's men too, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of older men in the justice system. You can see
Do you think
stories
so?
where yeah,
Do you
heck
think so?
yeah, the judge is like, now, especially in a lot of these red states, because they're more conservative. We have to understand the type of stress she was going on at the time, and
Uh,
she.
but to a lesser extent than women, I would say. Men are more, let's say, inclined towards justice and fairness, and they do not tolerate anything which harms children. As we know, like even in jail, someone who has hurt children, he doesn't have a big life expectancy, you know.
But I would add to that. What do you mean by harming children? Because you could argue that the fact that that 90% of the time women get custody of the children, a lot of times with unfit mothers, that's harming children. But a lot of male judges do it anyway.
Well, to answer your question, I would say in the example that you provided, when the mother takes out the children, well, I don't see many men who would be like, yeah, she was under a lot of stress. They would condemn it in the harshest terms, I'd say. But and just to say that on average, women are more likely to find an excuse for the culprit if it's a woman. And yeah, maybe men as well, but just this is all in a way this kind of sisterhood towards incompetence, which is upheld by women, which is
Well,
sad in my opinion.
but also remember, women can't uphold or enforce anything without men.
Yes, but they do
W-
it by just talking. I mean, they just try to, let's say, because I would say that currently the reputation and image of women is very bad. Okay, it's very bad, and they all try to repair it by hiding their issues instead of solving their issues. You know, so if there is something a woman has wrongly done, it will be hidden just as to not make it obvious for the society, you know. And
Yeah.
at some point it's bad in the long run, because it shields the culprits from accountability, and that's one of the main problems,
I
I'd say.
I would agree, but remember, women still get more social currency than men. If
I agree.
if you see, look, I'm waiting for the day that if like if t- two women can be attacking you, Jessica, and you're defending yourself, and the police or other men will freaking tackle you.
Well,
As when those days go away, I'll I'll say that there's progress,
but
but
I would say there is some progress, because as you said, and I think your brother said as well, is that if there is a dispute between a couple in the street, he will not intervene, whereas back in the days he would, because there has been cases where, for example, the women you've saved actually just takes you to court,
yep.
and says, and men have been wiser to that. And I think there is, however, some kind of consciousness from men's point of view.
Well, men. What's it called? When the worst thing for women is going to be when men just don't care anymore,
But
because
yeah, that's what's
because
happening in my
yeah,
opinion.
that's what's happening. Yeah, I'd agree
Yes,
with that 100%. Let me go through a couple more of these paragraphs, and then we can get back to the student
sure,
loan
sure.
thing. Okay, so it says uh, uh um oh my goodness. Okay. Um Wait, neighbor Wayne Murray told the BBC that Miss Torres and her partner kept to themselves while living in Austin. They weren't very friendly. After the eviction, allegedly for not paying rent, he claimed to have found voodoo dolls among their left belongings and said there is a room for witchcraft set up in the house. Oh my goodness. These
This
women
is
and their
another issue.
witchcraft.
Jesus H. Christ.
Okay.
Witchcraft is very very pervasive in the women's psyche, you know. They're very drawn to this occult stuff. However, if I just may, there is one thing that was mentioned in this article, which has in a way has to be treated with respect. It's the ayahuasca part. I don't know if you have ever tried or are knowledgeable about this, but
Uh-uh.
I have done it 3 times in my life, and in my experience, it ranks amongst the most incredible experience as a human being that I've ever done. Okay, so I would rank it in the top two. Okay,
Okay.
and for it to be, in a way, I'm surprised, because it has not usually it is known to give a very thought provoking and life changing experience, which leads to good, you know. That's what it's known for. And the fact that she has taken it and has strayed towards the wrong path, towards evil says a lot about her soul as a person. It
Yeah.
means she
Yep.
was a very, very, I mean, even something which is supposed to save you and maybe turn your soul towards a better purpose, has not managed to do it. So for me, it says a lot about her. I don't
And
know. I just came at the middle of the sentence, but what I've heard is that she acts like a real tyrant, and
yeah.
and
Yep.
is clearly
And
a
and
very hateful person.
you know what's really sad, you guys? So Hollywood is weird in the United States, man. They have all the, HW,
Yeah,
Harvey did
yeah,
all his crazy stuff and all these people. That's in America. She was an impoverished Brazilian woman. So do you
yeah,
know what kind of crazy stuff that she had
yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah,
to get to the top in Brazil,
yeah.
looking like this? I'm telling you, man. Oh, yikes! All right, it says uh while Miss Torres was still living in Austin, videos would emerge of those with her performing what seemed to be ritualistic exercises. This thing. The young women appeared drugged and speaking disconnected phrases. Photo of Desiree and Leticia Maya Alvarenga, another woman convinced to join Miss Torres in the U.S., also reportedly appeared on escort websites with their hair dyed dark blonde, looked like Torres. The scheme finally began to unravel when the parents of Desiree and Leticia declared their children missing, sparking huge searches on social media to track them down. So yeah, I might do a longer story on this because for the sake of time, I'm gonna pass it by. But yeah, tell you, you would if you were to take out the names and describe this story, people would just assume that it's a man doing it. But guys, I would say in 2024, women have as much, if not more, of a proclivity to commit evil acts because they're strong and powered, but they're not being held accountable. So why would you do, the right thing if you know that you're not going to have to pay the price for it?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And there one of the things I like to do is sometimes check the Latin section of Wikipedia where you have proverbs. Okay, and there's always already in the Roman times and Greek times there was this notion that women is by nature in a way turned towards evil, and men towards good. So it's
That's
it's
all.
very. Yeah.
That's all. Pretty much all religious
Yeah,
texts
yeah, I agree that
paint women that
women
way.
if left alone, women stray towards a bad path instead of a good one.
Yep, yep. Selfishness, greed,
Yeah.
vanity, sloth, all that stuff. Yeah,
I,
man.
I think there are, for example, it's very hard to talk about friendship between women because I'm not sure they're capable of friendship in a way, because this requires like solidarity, loyalty, faithfulness, and it's something which women are not really known for. So
Yeah,
to be.
it's just like the whole M2 thing. Guys are unplugging at work, and it's just like they're leaving the women to fight them. Here's the thing: women will unite against the men, but men are just walking away. They're walking away from work functions, mentoring women, all this stuff. So these women they have to fight somebody, and they're gonna start fighting themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
All
And
the guys were just gonna sit there, sit back, and just watch them eat each other.
yeah. You had a video when you were talking about allyship and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember. If you, I watched it recently, and it told men to be allies of women. And
Oh yeah, I remember that
and
one.
and I was like, but why would I be the ally of someone who is not my ally? Because
Yes.
I cannot remember once where a woman has sacrificed her well-being for mine. You
Well,
know,
well, anyone,
aside from my mother.
yeah,
But
except for your mother.
exactly.
But all right, so I agree with you 100%. Like they the house has been built, the armies have been recruited, the infrastructure is in place, and men are supposed to just let women run it all.
Yeah, no. Give it to them, and that's the thing. Also,
Ain't happening, dude.
it's they have this begging attitude when they want to be seen as some kind of victorious equivalent of men, but they never do the effort. They want it to be given to him, the glory without the effort. And it's very tiresome, and it's worthless, because if it's given to you, you didn't deserve it. It has no value, so it's very,
Yeah,
they don't get it. They just focus on the artificial, they
a big
just want to be
example
vain.
is these celebrities' children who are given everything, but they still take themselves out. Oh, he was so depressed. You have
Yeah.
everything. Happiness comes from achievement. Women
Yes, yes.
achieve in social situations, family, children. Men achieve in business, physical feats and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. But when you give a young person nothing to achieve, even depression and mental health issues.
Yeah,
A lot of young men, if you give them a goal and give them the tools to succeed, gee, imagine that. All their mental health issues go away. Imagine that.
yeah. Because it's about the journey instead of the destination, in a way. Because this is what women don't understand. They just want it. They want the end result without the path to get it, and that's in a way, it takes away from the pleasure of life, of accomplishing something.
Yeah,
So
it's just like
they're missing out on this. They're missing out on this, and they get unhappy and accomplish it. They don't understand why.
yeah. It's just like your health, guys. Doug MPA was a power lifter in college. At my at my at my strongest, I would, because I'm 6'3", and I was 278 pounds, right? So I could deadlift 605, I could squat 550 and bench 500, right? And so guys, I was one of those guys where, like, I walked around the gym and people would look at me like, holy crap. Or like, I take my shirt off and all the women would be like, wow. But I didn't really see it. You know what I'm saying?
Because they didn't
Like,
do it for them. You did it for you.
yeah. And so
I guess.
I got to the point where, like, I should have been happy, but I wasn't. So that's when I realized that your health, like a lot of things, like Jessica's saying, it's a journey. Your health, your professional goals, there isn't going to be a treasure at the end of the rainbow. You have to constantly be trying to better yourself.
Yeah.
Fall in love with the quest, not the treasure. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Colin, how you doing, buddy?
Also, I think women fail to understand.
Jessica, hold on.
Yeah, sure.
Colin, how you doing, buddy?
You're good. How are you, man? Can I
I'm
ask you a
good, man.
question?
Yeah, sure.
You've got to be AJ's brother, right?
We are identical twin brothers.
Ah, okay.
That's why we have the same cadence, the same stutter, everything like that. We are identical twins. AJ started his channel first because, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been mods on some pretty big channels. And I've also written scripts and questions for some pretty big shows I'm not going to name. So AJ started his channel, and he's like, why don't you start yours? So he actually got me to start my channel.
Good, nice. Well,
Yeah.
I just recently kind of put the pieces together, and I subscribed to you. So I'll try to. I'd love to chime in a little bit more often if or when I can. So thank you.
Oh yeah, sure. So we're talking about my favorite thing to talk about is women and student loan debt. I have a whole series of women on TikTok who regret their student loan debt. I'm 17 deep so far, you guys. So go on that playlist.
Yeah, I watched them. They're good.
It's so good, man. There's endless material, guys, because these women keep going to these schools that are too expensive to get degrees nobody cares about, to get jobs that aren't gonna make them any money. You know it.
They're doing it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it just to get the degree and get the in a way the title, but they don't do it in order to have a better outcome on their life. They don't do it to improve themselves. They just see it as some kind of like purse. It's like a bag for them.
Well, everything, a lot of things that single women do is for vanity. Like
Yes.
example, I don't know if you saw the video I did on my channel, Jessica, where 123,000 more single women own homes than men.
Yeah, but they're also foreclosed on more than men. So
now, Colin, I'm going to ask you, an Angel, What is the difference in mindset between a man buying a house and a woman buying a house? A single man and a single woman. What's the difference?
Man,
Well, no, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Colin. Go ahead.
A man will typically think of long-term security and starting a family. A woman looks at it as a status symbol.
Okay. Angel?
Yeah, I agree. I was about to say that. Yeah, I agree with that along those lines.
Yep. A man normally doesn't buy a house until he's ready to put a family in it. And then a man will let a woman nest in his house. So a woman will move in, move all of his stuff down to his basement so he has a man cave in his own house.
That's pathetic. Pathetic.
Women will never give a man that privilege ever. Ever.
Unless you are the head of the household, and that's something which has been lost these days, because whenever I hear a friend saying like, "Oh, I gotta see with my wife if I can go out tonight," that's a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
You know?
She's the boss. I gotta ask the boss. Oh man, yikes. All right. Let's get to our first case here for the day. My very first student loan debt video, I covered a TikTok of this girl, but I actually found her actual channel, and she's a B-dub, so you already know where this is headed. Let's go.
I have $200,000 worth of student loan debt, and I'm pretty ashamed of it. I recently made a couple of videos on YouTube Shorts and all of my other platforms talking about my student loan debt. And so I decided to make the sit down video because I wanted to delve more into this topic to provide more detail that this conversation requires. If you're new around here, my name is Kaisha Hughley.
What is she gonna try to accomplish, guys?
These names, man. Just real quick. These names, like, so my ex-wife was Cameroonian, and I've been to Cote d'Ivoire, I've been to Cameroon, I've been to Nigeria and South Africa, right? And like, guys, so she would meet these black women, and they have their, Quavon Tavius and Tiberius, and they'd be like, oh, they're African names. She's like, oh no, they're not. No, they're not. And like, oh, well, how do you know? She's like, I'm from Africa, you moron. Most of these names are not African names, you guys, not even close. They're just some foolishness.
The internet knows me as Kaisha Creates. I am an actor, a multi-hyphenate artist, and creative living and working in New York City.
Of course she is, you guys.
it's always funny to hear them state their titles, because they think that the more titles they say, the more prestigious they are. But in fact, it shows that they have no clear identity. I'm a creator, I'm a writer, I'm a film director, and I'm an OnlyFans whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
All those titles mean broke, and broke. That's exactly what that means to me, man. Exactly. Straight up.
With this recent loan forgiveness program from Biden and Harris,
of course,
I've had a lot of mixed emotions about it. If I'm just being honest, I am glad that campaign promise was fulfilled. I just am going to need a little bit more help, especially after seeing the White House Twitter. First of all, whoever is running the White House Twitter, chef's kiss. I love you. Like, genuinely, you are it. You are a star. Keep going. But I do have a couple of questions. If we are forgiving millions in PPP loans, can we forgive these student loans in full? Because, honey, I just can't tell you how much sleep I have lost worrying about how I'm going to pay these loans. So let me go back. Let me start from the beginning of how I got into this situation in the first place. During my
you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Will it be her fault or not? Just first question.
Of course not.
No, of course not. No.
Okay, guys.
What STEM degree did she get?
That's what I was gonna say, because I always say the seven degrees that women get that aren't worth the paper that they're printed on: psychology, sociology, criminal justice, some kind of gender studies degree.
Humanities,
African American studies, social work, education, and communications. So how many of those 7 do you think she has, guys?
None. Because one of them at least. And Doug, not only that, but I think whenever they pick, let's say, a more serious degree, they don't understand the competition within it, because if you want to be a lawyer from Harvard and you pay a lot of money, but you will also be in competition with very bright people. Most of them will be men, and you will not get the career that you expect because you will not be as focused and let's say determined to be competitive, because it's a more so a male characteristic than a woman.
Yeah, and
So it's
I've
also
covered this
waste,
multiple times. Women, okay, in STEM fields, you guys, there is a STEM recruitment problem for women and a STEM retention problem, because 50% of women in STEM leave the industry altogether when they have children. That's right. And also, women CEOs quit around 42 to 44. So they claw their way all the way up to the top of the field just to quit. Just to quit.
And also CEO of what? Because CEO of their random a company that they've made. I mean, it's more often than not. It's not a real. It's not the real position. It's something which they have simulated and just wanted.
And also, guys, try and guess the salary. See, people say CEO like they're all going to be a Fortune 500 CEO, but there are thousands of companies. Try and guess the salary of the average CEO in the United States. Try and guess.
Well, I'm not good with the wages in the US, but CEO of what? Because I would say around 100K. 100K if you take into account also small companies.
Anyone else?
I'd
Yeah,
say,
I agree with that. 100K.
Yeah, I'd say overall probably like 300 to 350.
$250,000 a year.
Wow.
And remember, the CEO is working 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week to keep the company afloat, stuff like that. And you know what? Guys will do it. But women, guys, I'm telling you, modern women, they want all this freedom and all this possibility, but then and all this empowerment, but they still reserve the right to change their minds at any given moment. Make sure, guys, that you are in a position to be able to pay all the bills if you have to. Because you might have to.
Only a fool would count on a woman to pay his bills and just lead the household. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 50-50. I want everything to be equal. Yeah. You know what? Until she hits 35 or 40 or 45, let's just say, why do I have to keep working? It's not fair. And all of them will have that one friend who actually did it right, married a guy worth a damn who doesn't have to work. And then usually around 40 to 45, start looking at you to saying, get your money up so I can quit. And most of the reasons why she has to keep working are going to be her fault.
Yeah. And her debt.
Yep, her debt. She's going to be the one that said, let's move into this house that we can't afford. She's going to be the one she broke to drive Mercedes-Benz around. She's going to be the one that wants a $2,000 handbag for freaking Christmas. She's going to be the one that wants to go on international trips every 3-4 months.
Travel. You know, it's
called travelicious, man. You got to watch out. Okay, let's get back into this lady.
Senior year of high school, I decided to go to college. I knew I would be going to college probably since I was 3, because that's most people in my family.
Oh, go ahead.
I bet that she will be vague on what degree she got, because she knows it's she just wants to make us think that she got something worthwhile, but she will avoid mentioning exactly what she did. And I'm gonna bet on that.
I'm always gonna vote on lesbian dance theory. That's always my choice for degree that they got their degree in.
Do. And so going to college, going to grad school were things that were always on my radar. So when I went to college, I of course was looking for a scholarship. I didn't want to have to take out any loans. And lucky for me, I ended up earning a full scholarship from Mount St. Mary's University. And I was a part of the 3rd Century Scholar Program, which was an academic scholarship program. Although I was able to get my college paid for, I was not able to get my graduate school paid for. One of the reasons why I decided to go to graduate school is because in my senior year of college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had some things that I was interested in. I just didn't know what field to do said things in, and I was just really unsure. One thing that was also at the very forefront of my mind at the time was survival, stability, things that I feel that I didn't have in my youth.
Here it comes, you guys.
She failed on all aspects because she has got herself into a debt of 200,000. Okay, and she did it without knowing what she wanted to do. You know, if she wanted to be some kind of doctor, okay, I'd understand. But she went there just to get the degree. She wanted stability. She got in debt 200,000. That's a total failure in my eyes. You know,
guys. She's a B-dub. Here it comes. She's gonna be like, "How much you invest?" She's gonna go into the systemic racism and the lack of access and the white privilege.
Jesus,
here it comes, you guys. Here it comes. And while she's talking, I'm gonna try and look up her LinkedIn.
Let's count the buzzwords.
While she's talking, I'm gonna look at try and see if I can find her LinkedIn, because I really want to see what her degrees are in.
I'd say criminal justice on a whim.
Does she look like the criminal justice type?
Yeah, BWs they go for criminal justice. I don't even know what that means, but I hear them all the time. You know?
And so money was important. I was like, I need to do something that's going to make some money because I have to take care of myself. And so having that pressure on
she did finance then. She did finance.
No? What I want to do for the rest of my life. That's how I ended up in graduate school. Looking back, I remember this so vividly. I applied for 4 graduate programs and I was only accepted into one. And
I still don't know which one though. Which one, woman?
I found it. You guys ready? Okay, hold on.
Is it engineering?
No. It must be outer space pterodactyls. I still believe that.
You guys ready? Okay, it says, okay, she has a certificate in musical theater. She has a bachelor's degree from Mount St. Mary's University in interdisciplinary studies, international arts, and communications. Guys, I told you.
Nice.
I told you.
Jesus H. Christ.
That brings in a lot of money. I think it's 3,000 starting. I think that's the starting salary. No.
And then she has sorry, you guys, a Master of Arts in Arts Management.
Yeah, that brings in a lot of money. They make
Doug.
Angel, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, listen. What was the first degree that you mentioned?
Okay, so in order, she's got her bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies, international arts, and communications.
Interdisciplinary? What the hell is that?
It means a random trivia. It's trivia.
You're thinking to yourself,
holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Exactly.
Then she got a Master of Arts in Arts Management. Then she has a certificate in musical theater, and then she studied abroad in Ecuador for international arts and communications.
Completely.
That was money well spent.
Yeah.
And guys, currently, she is. God, you can't make this shit up, you guys. She works for the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City. She's director of creative media, digital strategy, and innovation.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is that?
A lot of money that brings.
She's awesome. And then before that, she was CEO and founder and creative director of Kaisha Creates LLC full time. So specializing in crafting high quality, engaging content across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Ah, yes.
Oh, Lord.
It's self-aggrandizing vanity. It's insufferable.
Sounds self-destructive, though, man. I mean, career-wise, maybe livelihood-wise, and everything, man. I mean, this is ridiculous, man.
Guys.
Just one more thing, just real quick, guys. One of the biggest things is women have put themselves in a position where they're getting audited like men. This is their fault. They never had to get audited like men, but with this feminist empowerment attitude, we're equal to men. Society is going to hit him in the face. But still, if a man says, I want to be a rapper and he's 35, we're going to laugh at him. But women can go 30, 35, 40, 45 and still hold on to these stupid dreams, you guys. Still, I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be all sorts of crazy stuff. One last thing, guys. If we meet a guy who's living at his mom's house and wants to be a rapper, he's 35. What do we call him? We call him a loser, right?
A loser.
A loser. What is the female equivalent of the word loser?
Single mom, I'd say.
Oh, snap! You're right.
Single mom. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Because if a man has no job, he's a bum, because men are supposed to be productive members of society, okay? And women should be mothers and spouses. And if they have failed on their first and most essential goal, they are single mothers because they didn't secure what they had to. That's my opinion.
Let me say hi to Matt Demo. Good to see you. Adam Egg. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Jay Man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, we called it. Guys, so many of these women, only 10% of women are getting degrees in STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and math. All the rest of the women are getting these humanities degrees in lesbian dance theater and putting themselves $200,000 in debt. Yikes.
I kind of took that as a sign that, yes, I should go to this one. But now looking back, I'm like, maybe the universe was trying to steer me away from the student loan debt that I ended up incurring. Nonetheless, I was accepted to George Mason University for a Master's of Arts Management program, and I decided to go to graduate school there. One of the things that was very much drilled into me was that if I wanted to secure my earning potential, that I needed to have a graduate degree. It was not an optional thing. It was like, yes, you need a master's degree so that you can be competitive in your field, so that you can justify your pay, negotiate salary, all of
No, that's not how it works at all.
Before she keeps going, guys, to be able to be competent and competitive in her field of arts freaking management.
Jesus H. Christ.
Come on.
And also, I quote, I wanted to do something which gives money, so I went with Master of Arts in what? In dancing and musical theory. How do you get from one to the other? I mean, it's absolutely opposite,
Steve M, good to see you, my friend. He says, I'm 59, but I'm applying for NASA to be an astronaut. I'm worth it, and I'm a winner. Yeah, you know what? You slay, Steve M. Nothing's gonna stop you from your dreams.
Attaboy, Steve. Go get him.
He's like, I'll see you in the stars.
I'll see you up there, brother. I'll see you up there.
Yeah, I
with
know.
with the outer space pterodactyls. Keep an eye out on them.
these things. And so going to graduate school felt like a no-brainer, but I wasn't able to get much of a scholarship. We might as well say I didn't get a scholarship to graduate school because I think every semester I got like $1,000, but that was it. So why arts management, you ask? One of the reasons why I chose
we are.
Why?
Arts management at the time is because at that time I had not found theater. I was not yet an actor. I hadn't even done a community theater show at the time, but I knew I loved the arts. I knew I loved to perform. And I'm like, well, if I get into the management side of the arts, maybe I'll make some money. Also, at the time, I was working.
Okay, did you guys hear that? What did she just say? Can anyone explain it to me?
Yeah. She said that she had not found yet her true calling, which was arts. So she went and tried to go through the back door, which is the management of arts. And she thought that that would be her way in to a high-paying career. It's absolutely insane.
Okay, Colin, I'm gonna ask you, what's worse, the schools for charging this money for these degrees, or the students for going? Which one's worse?
Oh, I think they're both equally bad, honestly.
I mean,
but I was just going to say,
go ahead.
What she basically said or did there was she thought that she was puffing up her ego, and she thought she was going to become one of the quote unquote managerial class of people within our society.
Also, she thinks that regardless of your master's degree, you'll get the same negotiation power for your wages. I think she thinks that a master's degree, a master of arts in musical theory, has the same negotiating power.
No. It's not musical therapy. No, it's not musical therapy. It's arts management.
Yeah. It's the same as a law degree from MIT in engineering. It's that's what she thinks. It's absolutely incredible.
And I'm still shocked at interdisciplinary studies.
Yeah.
Of international arts and communication. I can't, you guys. I can't.
Working for the Office of Global Publishing Solutions at the U.S. Department of State, and I had my eyes on the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, which is a bureau that is dedicated to arts and culture. And so I'm like, if I get a degree in arts management, perhaps I can one day get a job in the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. That's actually what ended up happening. I applied for a paid internship in the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. I ended up working for the Office of International Visitors on the International Visitor Leadership Program, and I was able to eventually get a full-time position. Here's the caveat.
Oh my
You're
God.
living in New York City, and the amount of money that they're paying you at this place isn't enough to survive on.
Guys, just take a moment to appreciate the fact that she's flexing on us. She's trying to show us how accomplished, how successful, how brilliant her career is, and it's as if I was telling you guys, I'm earning 15K a year. I'm 55 and I drive a Honda Civic. I'm such a boss. You'd be like, what are you talking about, man? That's how deluded she is. She's absolutely out of touch with reality.
Yep, 100% true. Yep.
Yeah.
In the paid internship program that I was in at the time, it was required that you were in school. And because of the timing that I got into that program, I just graduated college, I had finished my degree, and so I technically was no longer in school. And if I wanted to eventually convert into a full-time higher position, I needed to be in school until that time came around. There was like a time period.
Okay. So
nobody cares, Susan. Nobody cares.
She was at the U.S. Department of State of the Office of International Visitors, right? So first off, DC is almost as expensive as New York, and internships you're making 35 to maybe $47,000 a year,
and depends on the internship. It depends on what you're doing. Yeah,
and that's barely enough to survive in Washington D.C., guys. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's basically like barely the equivalent of minimum wage in those areas, right?
Yep, you got it. Yep.
Period at the time that you had to honor. And so I was like, oh, let me make sure I'm in school.
And here's the thing. If she got in with the federal government, why didn't she stay with the federal government? Why didn't she do that? She could have stayed with because look, here's, instead of TikTok and begging for money on Instagram and TikTok, these women that get these useless degrees, the federal government will take you if you have a bachelor's degree. Most of these women, if you get a degree in I knew a woman that had a degree in technical set design, a bachelor's degree, and had to design sets for stage plays. Give it a shot. A couple of years. If you don't
has
make
a use. I'm surprised it exists, but it has some merit. I mean, we need people who set up stages for concerts and stuff like that. I would say, okay, it's not the worst I've heard.
Yeah, but like a degree in it though.
Yeah, I agree. It's overhyped. I mean, it should be just a course.
Listen. You can hire me to set up the stage and all that, and I don't even need no freaking degree.
Yeah, exactly.
That's ridiculous, man. Mm-hmm. Now, everything that you need that has to be done, or what you want to do, you need a degree in.
However,
it's ridiculous, though.
I would say,
and that's how these universities and colleges take advantage of women like this, because they're like, oh, I don't know any better. Sounds good, and they take advantage of that. And then after all this, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell is interdispersonal degree. What the hell that is?
Yeah, she as well, Angel. She as well. She has no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
right?
man.
Yeah. So I was just saying, what these women should do is just move to the DC area after they've tried and they failed and get a job with the federal government. During the cough, a bunch of older federal employees finally retired, and there's a lot of federal jobs open. You just have to move to DC to get them.
Also, bear in mind that her dream is to work in some kind of niche bureau of random arts. It sounds like such a dead end job. It's absolutely not a career. It's like a very boring, and that's her dream job. I mean, she's selling it as if she was an astronaut. I'm like, well, what the hell?
Because I like how you defined a career last time. Will you just define your idea of a career again, Jessica?
A career is something which has an upwards ascending trajectory, which has progression in it, which culminates in an ultimate position. For instance, in the military, a general; in the corporate world, a CEO or some kind of head of blah blah blah. But they don't have careers. Whenever they speak about a career, they're talking about a job. A job is something which stays the same. You do the same thing, like a hairdresser. You don't have a career as a hairdresser. You work as a hairdresser. Same thing if you're an electrician. But yeah, that's how they transform these words. So they use words they don't understand just to impress. It's very telling.
Yeah, another thing too, career versus job. With a good quality career, it also brings a sense of legacy as well.
Yes.
Achievement and legacy. I'd agree with that.
That's true,
and importance, because you have to be valued by either the public or the company where you're inside, because you are essential to whatever you are doing, and that's not their case most of the time.
Yeah, like people still talk about Steve Jobs, right? Like
they're not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a career in basketball, so
because he achieved the greatest he could possibly achieve. Yep, I agree. Yep.
So that I don't lose this job. It was really important for me to have a job. I don't think that a lot of people even recognize, the circumstances into which people end up in these situations, but I cannot move back home. If there was an emergency, I probably could have found someone to live with, but it was not my intention to move back home. I needed to be out on my own and have my own place, be able to take care of myself. This was not a situation where I could just move back in with my parents. Those are just not the circumstances that I had. I needed to figure out how to establish myself and to also secure myself financially. And so the answer at the time was go to school, get a master's degree. I will then be able to be successful and have higher earning potential. There are a couple of things.
Did you see the fault in logic in what she just said?
Just real quick.
Exactly.
Interdisciplinary studies and arts management, you guys.
I still don't understand what the hell that is.
If she would have got the degrees in STEM, like chemistry and like a master's in chemistry, I can see it. But how do you apply this logic to the degrees that she went to school for? I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Doug, they know they cannot get a degree in engineering or in quantum physics or in mathematics. They know it, but they're also deluded in thinking that if they get a worthless degree, it will get them prestige and honor. They always want the best without the effort to get it. It's very very typical,
Yep, I would agree, especially with these B-dubs.
Things that are slightly tragic about this whole situation for me. I managed to graduate college without any student debt, and I entered student debt when I decided to go to graduate school, and just that one decision could have eliminated a lot of the money that I signed up for. The second thing that is tragic is that I wasn't wrong. My earning potential is definitely drastically different than what I would earn if I only had a bachelor's degree. I know this for certain because of what I was able to negotiate in my position with the government. I would not have been eligible for certain grade levels had I not had that degree or not been working towards that degree. In my current position, I wouldn't have been able to negotiate my salary and to become a director had I not had a master's degree. Right. Becoming a faculty member and teaching at various institutions, organizations, and what have you. If I didn't have a master's degree, I don't think those opportunities would have been the most available to me. Not to mention my race. I am a Black woman. It was just
Oh,
Here it
God.
comes, you
Here it
guys.
comes.
Here
Yeah,
we
we
go.
Here
Here
it
we
comes. We knew it was coming, and I'm gonna give us a preemptive.
Jesus H. Christ.
Here we
Spoken to
go.
me that if I wanted to be able to secure my earning potential and if I wanted to have a chance to compete with my white counterparts, that I would
of course, of course.
in order
With
to
the white
address pay inequity. Pay inequity is something that is out of my control and not my fault, but yet something that I had to take into consideration. So with that, I took out the loans to complete my graduate degree. I completed my graduate degree in a year and a half. I graduated with honors and I did really well in the program. But let me jump back into where the rest of my loans came from. I graduated from graduate school in 2014. In 2017, I decided to go back to school to earn a certificate in musical theater.
Don't tell me that all this debt is from a certificate in freaking musical theater. Come on now, guys. No way. No freaking way.
I wasn't really pressed on having, a degree or a piece of paper, from an institution for this. I low-key
Oh, oops, sorry. No. Oh, sorry.
forgot what I was talking about. I had to jump away right quick and go get my cell phone because I thought Broadway was calling. And I was like, Lord, the prayer has been answered. Anyway, getting the certificate was not about having this piece of paper. It was more so about getting a foundational training in musical theater because I was deciding to become a professional actor. And in order to accelerate my success, quote unquote, in the field, I wanted to get as much training as possible in a concentrated amount of time. And so I decided to go to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. I was able to complete my musical theater certificate in about just over a year and a half. And at the time, that was the best decision for me. But again, I incurred a good amount of student debt. So total, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I have around $200K in student debt. And a lot of that is not...
Oh, you guys.
She
Okay.
talks so much to say so little. It's driving me nuts. For
Exactly.
7 minutes,
I'm
she
getting a
has
headache,
talked,
man.
and it's like she's standing still in her store. It's like I went to the parking, and then I went to the parking, and then I entered the parking, and then I took my car, and I was still in the parking. I mean, okay, get on with your story. What are you trying to do? I mean,
Okay. While she's talking, I'm gonna look at tuition for the American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
Also, she said 250K for 1.5 years. What did she do with the money? I mean, it's insane the spending she must have done.
Yep.
This video, I have around $200K in student debt. And a lot of that is not even just from the amount that I took out, but a lot of that is from the interest that has accrued over time. Because I've had my graduate loan since 2014 and it is now 2022. You're probably wondering, Kaisha, why didn't you just pay them loans off? You should have been making payments. Luckily, I did make some payments. So I have made some payments to my federal loans. I'm currently paying on my private loans. I have been able to...
Guys, if you hear anyone that has private loans on top of their federal loans, they're screwed. Why would you take private loans, guys? Why? Don't ever take private loans, ever. Federal loans are bad. I've seen people with private loans with interest rates at 10, 12, 13%, just like a credit card. Don't ever take private loans. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I was just plugging numbers into a interest rate calculator, and student loans, even with the federal government, is 8 to 12% on average. This sucker ass chump is paying anywhere from 16 to almost 30,000 a year. Oh, excuse me, she's not actually paying. That's what she's incurring. On her student loan debt, 16 to 30,000. That's more than some people make in an entire year.
I guarantee you. Oh, you guys ready? So the tuition to attend the American Musical and Dramatic Academy is freaking $45,000 a year.
Oh my God! Wow.
And that's in-state. That's in-state tuition. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. I guarantee her student loan payments are probably $1,500 and $1,600 a month at least.
But do you think she has created an Excel sheet and thought about compound interest and how it's better to just pay it off as soon as possible in order to amortize and reduce the cost and have the principal paid off in full? Or what? Did she just get a bag? with the money, and just
What
told
was that?
herself it will be erased by magical fairies or by the government. You know,
What
that's
was what was the analysis that you were saying yesterday?
discounted cash flow analysis.
You know what? You know what? You know what? I want to give her credit for having natural hair, but man, if you were to say anything like that to her, man, it would spin her head around, man. Come on now, like because you guys, another video I did on my channel, I think it was a year and a half ago. 42% of women don't even have a budget. 42%, no budget.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
just, as an outsider, I live in Switzerland. I find it very sad, however, that the core tenet of student in the US is to first indebt yourself in order to get the degrees and then pay it back. That's, for me, it places a burden on the students, which is a very, let's say, depressing way of approaching life. I'm just telling you, in Switzerland, I've done my bachelor and my master's. It cost me $500 per semester. So I started the working in the real world with no debt. So it's very different from having 200K as debt. It's very depressing, I'd say.
Yeah, Pyro, how you doing, buddy? What do you think
Yeah, I'm
about this
doing
whole
all
thing?
right. Yeah, I think this is complete foolishness. Like, did you guys say she worked a decent amount of money? If I heard that right.
Yeah,
over $200,000. Over 200.
Wow, she would have already paid that off, like probably within at least 2 years. If she's very busy with other bills, if you get what I mean. So she has no excuse.
Well, no, man, because she's not gonna earn enough money to pay that off. Pay that off in 2 years. Number one. Then number two, guys, one of the biggest differences between men and women is a guy will live in an apartment with a chair, a 6-pack of beer, an Xbox, and a TV, and just watch his savings stack. But a lot of women feel entitled to a lifestyle once they've got that title. I'm a lawyer, and I have to live and spend like one. You know what I'm saying?
And look
the
like
average professional woman spends more on consumer goods than the average family of 4 in the United States. You guys.
Yeah,
That's crazy. On herself at that.
Yep.
So you're saying she has never eaten like noodles or some tuna can just to save money? Come on.
No, that's like, to her, that's below her. That's
yes, she's a queen.
That's
she's
peasant.
a queen.
That's peasant.
Only us worthless males will drink water from the tap. That's
exactly right.
Yeah,
it's unbecoming of her. It's very.
Like the stream, subscribe if you haven't, and hit that super chat button. All donations are appreciated. And let's keep going with this lady here.
Successfully one of my private loans, thank goodness. But this loan forgiveness, the $20K that I'm personally eligible for is going to take me to 180. I still have quite a mountain of debt to tackle. And if I'm just being honest with you, it, keeps me up at night. I lose sleep about this. I feel so regretful. And it's been really hard reading comments saying things like, oh, well, you need to take responsibility. You knew what you signed up for. And
how dare you?
These really harsh comments, and
because they're so harsh. These harsh comments telling her to pay her debts and take accountability for her actions. Poor her, right? How is it true? And Jessica knows this. All of us men know this. Math, numbers, money, it can be harsh, man. Some of the harshest truth is it starts off with a dollar sign in front of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just so mean that I owe all this money. It's so mean that people are holding me accountable.
I know that.
Go ahead.
Also, I thought she was a strong and independent woman who doesn't need no forgiveness and stuff like that. She has a career and incredible degrees. How come she can't pay off her student debt?
I know. She should have this figured out by now.
that it is my responsibility. Ultimately, I did sign up for this debt, but I did not recognize the magnitude of what I was signing up for at the time. I was just trying to survive and to do what I thought was best to build a stable life for myself. Listen, I'm not even trying to hold you. I don't need anybody feeling sorry for me or anything like that. But just to let you know where I come from, listen, I grew up in the hood. When my
Here comes more of it,
So
you guys.
why do you want to be some kind of superstar? I mean,
Yep.
just be
Yeah.
content.
People from humble beginnings want to go to the moon. And I mean, Steve M can, but most everybody else, it ain't gonna happen for, right, guys?
That's true.
Yeah. Saint Kevin Samuel said the best. A lot of black people, we come from humble beginnings, man, humble beginnings. And all of a sudden, all of us want to drive around in Rolls Royces and BMWs and live in some mansion. How'd that happen? What is going on?
And also, it's something which is lacking, I think, in B-dubs and in women in general, is the some kind of humility and modesty and let's contentment of what you can have. They always want to live beyond their means. It's very dangerous to have such a foolish attitude towards life.
Yep, I agree.
parents had me, they weren't preparing for me. Some people, when they have kids, they, prepare funds for them to go to school, and
It's called family planning, but our community has no idea what that means.
they're like planning for, their future and their lives. I didn't have none of that. My parents weren't planning for me. Most likely, I was just the result of a good time if I'm just keeping it a buck.
Wait, so did her parents tell her that truthfully? How messed up is that? You know what? I guarantee you her mom told her that. I guarantee it, you guys.
No father has advised her to do that degree, that's for sure.
No, but listen to what she just said. I'm a product of a good time. Does that sound like anything a father would say to his daughter? It had to be the mother. Had to have been, you guys. Come on.
Yeah.
That means that she wasn't even planned to begin with, though, if that was the case.
Yeah.
And that's a
You know what,
shame.
guys? You know what? At least she's being honest, but the sympathy, it's just not there, guys. It's just not. No sympathy here.
Nope.
No way.
Nope.
So with that being said, there was no money set aside for me to go to school. So jumping back a bit to talk a little bit about earning potential, I was right. I have been able to negotiate really good salaries because of...
Well, then why do you still owe $200,000 in debt? Why haven't you paid it off yet?
And how much is that? Because you still have not mentioned a number, because you conveniently leave out the most important information. Because I would say, I managed to negotiate a 5,000 increase of my main salary, or I went from 10 to 15K, but she doesn't. You know why? Because it's very low.
Yep, because
she's just telling you lies. Exactly.
Yep, we probably laugh at it. That's why.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
academic experience and my professional experience, of course, as well. Between my full-time position and all of the freelance work that I do, I currently earn 6 figures. Now, anytime you hear someone say 6 figures, it's like, oh my God, you're making so much money. And the reality is that 6 figures is not as much money as you think it is when you have this kind of student loan debt. And if you have any kind of other bills and things of that nature. So just to put it in perspective, yes, I do earn a very good salary from the work that I do, but it is not as much money as you think. To put this in perspective, my current student loan payments for federal, which I do not have to pay on right now, it's going to be roughly $390 a month. And my private loans are currently $531-ish a month. And so,
Wait. Hold up. The math ain't mathing on this.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Whoa, hold up a second. Guy, whoa. Wait a minute. Hold up a second.
Wait a minute. She has 200 in debt?
Yeah, wait, hold up. 531 plus 390. That's only 921.
Right. Just the monthly interest alone should be about 1,600. That's what I was saying just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, what's she talking about?
She has not paid. So what happened is that the interest is compounding, and that's digging her hole. She's absolutely reckless with that. She took a lot of money, and she had not made any effort to pay it back. And this will ultimately destroy her financially.
Oh, wait. Hang on. I bet you this knucklehead signed up for one of these programs where they defer the interest.
Exactly. She said
Yeah.
it. She said
Oh,
it.
no.
And she hasn't paid. She hasn't paid the
What's
first.
wrong with that?
Well,
Another reason.
Because then you pay interest on top of interest.
Yeah. So
Are you kidding me?
basically,
guys.
you cannot pay back, and then there are several interest payments which hit you, and they are accumulated. It's very predatory in nature. It's like saying you'll be able to pay me back in 2 years, but during these 2 years, the interest goes on top of the principal, and it's becoming like a snowball of unpayable debt. It's very.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Oh no, that's no good.
That has to be it for her to be able to have this low of a payment. When I worked for the Affordable Care Act, I sat next to this girl who went to University of Georgia Athens Law School because her dad went there and she was her dad's only child. She hated law. She did it because her dad wanted her to, but then her dad didn't help her pay for law school. She paid $60,000 a year for 3 years, so she had $180,000 in student loan debt, and her payment was $1,480 a month.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how this is possible. I don't know how that's possible. How is her federal loans $390? I don't know. She has a rude awakening coming, you guys. Holy crap.
It's gonna be hard.
That means that in about whatever time it is, in about 2 years or whatever, she's gonna get clobbered by the interest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know why, guys? I see the same signs of the previous recession when the housing crisis has been caused by people who are signing mortgages that they did not understand with the same issues with interest rates which are flexible and adjustable and which kick in at some point in the future, which are catastrophic. And they are doing the same thing with student loans now. It's for me, they're repeating their history.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
So we're talking about, $800 to $900 a month just for my student loan payment. So yes, I am a 6-figure earner, but if I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to make my student loan payments. Not to mention, I live in New York City. I am an actor. So while I have a full-time job, I'm literally...
I'm an actor.
That's her first way to identify herself.
I live in New York City.
She left a job with the Department of State. If she would have just stayed in DC and maybe did, in fact, when was she in DC? When she was in DC, one second, you guys. She was in DC, from 2012 to 2017. If she would have stayed, up until 2022, it would have been 10 years. She could have got her student loans forgiven for federal service.
Yeah,
She
true.
left to go to New York.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanking you guys. Oh my God.
Literally running myself ragged to ultimately make all of these things work. If I didn't have a full-time job, I would not be able to afford to just act, because most of the weekly minimums that non-equity actors are given at regional theaters across the country, there's no way I could survive off that. There is absolutely no way that I could survive. I wouldn't even be able to make one student loan payment off of most of those salaries. And so I'm out here making it work, but I'm also burned out. I make a ton of sacrifices in order to be an actor. And so that feels like a whole separate video, but
you know what she hasn't mentioned this whole time? A relationship, marriage, or a husband.
Yeah.
Come on.
Also, guys, would you say that acting and music are careers which start at a very high earning potential and just soar towards the sky? Everyone knows that being an actor, you have to be it's very hard to be living off music and acting. So how can she think that it's going to be a walk in the park to be an actor? What's she thinking?
Look, Rich Goodson hit it. Yeah, look, she is married. Oh man, look at that! Good catch. Yeah, she does have a wedding ring on. You know what that means? Some poor freaking, some poor guy has to help her pay out.
Forget that. He's a beta simp. He's in trouble.
Yeah,
Yep.
guys, I wouldn't be so sure. I wouldn't put it past her to put a ring on her finger, but not be married. You know.
She is an actor, by the way.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
she
That's
acts
true.
as a spouse. You know.
Yeah, but you know what? I just well, she said it. I'm an actor, and a lot of local theaters, the salary isn't even enough to pay for a $900 student loan payment. So someone has to pay the bills, and I guess it's her husband. I guess.
I just want y'all to know the real. When I've talked to my financial advisor about my student loans, she's really been working with me on
Oh my
mindset,
God.
how I think about it. And it is really, really hard for me. I feel so much shame about the decisions that I've made. When I think about the bigger picture of it, right? I was making a decision to invest in myself, to bet on myself, to better myself, all of these things. And so I can't be mad at myself for wanting to invest in myself. However, I just wish I had found a savvier way to do it so that I didn't end up in so much student debt. And that guilt for not knowing is something that literally is eating me alive. I can't believe I'm even making a video about this. I've talked a little.
Yeah, we can, because women can't resist putting their whole lives on social media. At least she isn't crying while she's doing it. She's not eating. She's eating. She's not putting on makeup, and she's not crying. So good
God,
job
I
for
hate
that.
that. I hate when they eat or put on makeup. I hate that, man.
I hate worst.
Eating is the worst when they eat at the same time when they
Yeah,
do
man.
Yeah, Doug. Yeah, I think
Incredible.
Doug hit he hates the one that when people drive because they can end up causing an accident.
Oh yeah, people driving when they're on. Have you seen on TikTok now that if someone is driving while they're talking, it has a warning label saying this is a dangerous activity. Please do not do this. Yeah, have you seen that now? Yeah, it's because I guarantee you, so many idiots have crashed their cars while they're filming TikTok videos. Oh my God.
Little bit about student loans on my Instagram stories and things of that nature here and there, but I've never made a sit down video about it because I was just so ashamed at how poor of a decision this was. Now, again, I do know that I made this decision with the best information I had at the time. And at the time, I really did think this was the best decision for my life. There's nothing I can do about it now. I can't go back and, erase it or make a different decision. All I can do is move forward and hope that I can put myself in a position where I can pay these loans back. So I am actively doing that right now.
Because that's why you're asking for a cancellation of your loans.
Yeah. She's saying I am actively paying that back. No,
Nope.
You and your husband are paying it back. And you know what's funny? She's talking like she's a single person out here. Like she's doing this all by herself.
That's what I thought.
And a lot of women do this. There is some dude in the background, most of the time a simp, who's paying for this lifestyle, who's paying, who's helping her fix her mistakes. A lot of these women hold on to these dreams. There's no reason why at her age, with all this debt, she should be in New York City right now trying to be an actor still.
Exactly.
She should have a regular job.
Doug, one of the things which enrages me so much is that not only is she being helped by a man, but she doesn't even have the courtesy and grace to thank him and to put him in the limelight and say, my husband, my boyfriend pays and helps me. No, she hides his help in order to make her feel more accomplished and as if it was her doing it. It's like stolen glory, It's very, very disgusting. Yeah, we are paying our loans. No, she's paying your loans.
Your loans, exactly, 100% true.
It's very
to work for the federal government.
Yeah, but Jessica, if that's the case, then she can't do that though, because then she has to have accountability.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right.
And she will not be strong and independent if she just says that. So
yeah,
get it.
I guarantee you, most of the people in the comments are the type of women who she's trying to appeal to a certain audience with this, and that audience wouldn't listen to her. I'm surprised that she even wore her freaking wedding ring.
Also, why would you make this video if you knew that you were being helped. I mean, that's the scandalous part of it, is that she is here begging for her loans to be canceled. She is being helped by her husband out of her bad decisions, and she makes this video for no reason other than to pretend as if what she did is a success, and she's something an example which has to share her wisdom and intelligence to the world. It's a failure on all aspects, in my opinion.
Yeah,
No?
I agree. Yep. Poor guy.
Myself in a position where I can pay these loans back. So I am actively doing that right now. Because I used to work for the federal government and because I currently work for an academic institution, luckily I qualify for the public service loan forgiveness program. And so it is my hope that if I am able to make all 120 qualifying payments, that then I will be forgiven of the rest of my federal loan amount. But that does not account for my private student loans, which I will have to pay back in full. There's no kind of forgiveness for that. So I gotta shell out the dollars for that. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that last year I was able to pay off one of my student loans in full. It was my Sallie Mae loan. I no longer owe Sallie Mae anything. And it was a really interesting experience because I called to pay my last payment. The representative that I spoke with said, "Congratulations on paying off your student loan." And it was just like a really nice moment. And while I was excited, I was still like inside cringing because I knew at the time how much money I still had left to pay. And so now that I've paid off one loan, I have proved to myself that I can do it. I just have to be super strategic as I continue to approach this debt-free journey. Speaking of debt-free journey, it is my goal to be completely debt-free. Luckily for me, the bulk of my debt is student loan debt. I don't have a lot of commercial debt. I don't have any credit card debt. I have a car, I have my student loan debt, and it is my goal to pay both of them off as soon as I can. Like as soon as I can.
I. Me, like Johnny Gill. My. She's married, you guys. No mention of her husband. No mention of the help she's getting. And you know what? I got to give her credit for being married.
Yes.
Remember,
I'm still not sure because she has not mentioned it once. It's kind of suspicious, guys. I think she's not married. And she has short hair, so I don't think short hair are wives, you know. So,
so when
go ahead.
Yeah, she's giving she's giving that like how that saying go like when the woman say all my life I have to fight.
Yeah. That's what she's giving off right now, man.
Also, I think if a woman is married, she would be the first. She will mention it quite quickly because it's a flex, you know, to be married, and she hasn't done it at all.
Especially in the Black community.
Exactly, and she hasn't done it at all. She has talked only about her academic career and acting and everything. She's full of it.
AJ says. She got the ring out of a Cracker Jack box. man, I miss those prizes in cereal and Cracker Jack boxes. Remember all the toys I used to get in cereal and Cracker Jack boxes? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Of course. Yeah, man.
Yeah, those were the days, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
they
man.
even have toys in Happy Meals at McDonald's anymore. I'm not even sure they do. Do they?
Also,
I don't know, but they did before. I don't know if they do now.
Guys, did you know that she went to? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't know if you noticed, but she said I was talking with my financial advisor, and she said so. It was a woman advising her on finance. I mean, she's
always
on all fronts, you know.
Always, yeah. Guys, get a male financial advisor. A
For
male
everything.
therapist,
a male.
I've been to a couple of female physician assistants and nurse practitioners who are good. So I wouldn't go far as to say get a male, medical provider, but like mentorship, financial advisor, therapist, males, guys, don't go to women.
Certain things like when I work with brands or if I'm doing coaching or whatever, my rate is my rate because we got to pay these loans off. You hear me? I'm trying to be on somebody's yacht. I don't want to be working this hard for the rest of my life. I want to spend my time working on the things
Whoa, slow down.
I want to be on somebody's yacht.
Exactly. Just
Maybe she's
you're
not
right.
married. Maybe she's
She's
not
not.
married.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
So that means AJ was right then. She probably got it out of a Cracker Jack box.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be on somebody's yacht. Like what?
Not your yacht,
Oh.
no, somebody else's yacht.
Oh man, maybe she's not married.
About I don't want to have to feel like I gotta grind, I gotta hustle, I gotta grind like all the time just so that I can make sure everything is paid. Like I don't mind working hard, but there's a difference between working hard and then just being chaotically busy. And right now I'm living in a season of chaotically busy. So that's the story of my student loan debt. If you can relate, comment below. I would love to hear your story. If you have paid off all of your loans, or if this loan forgiveness program is making it possible for you to pay your loans off, please comment that below, as well as celebrate those victories, because I'm trying to catch up with y'all. I'm trying to have this paid off. I don't want this to be a part of my story anymore. And so I'm just manifesting this in advance, that my student loans are going to be paid off.
Here we go. With
Period. End
the
of
Here we go with the manifesting.
And let me know,
Guys, she's
manifested.
manifesting.
Period. Any woman that says that, run far away, you guys.
to me, if you can hit the like button on this video, make sure you subscribe.
Okay. No.
She's, you know what? I tell you what, Doug. She's very exhausting. This whole thing's
Yes.
very exhausting, though,
Yes,
man.
yes. It was torture. It was torture to listen.
It
to
was,
her.
man.
What did we learn? Nothing. She said
Yeah.
nothing of value. She said,
no.
gimme. Forgive.
We learned that interdisciplinary studies is a thing.
Oh boy, I'm still trying to figure that out, man. Jeez.
that arts management is a thing too. So let's do a quick change of pace here, because this is another woman who tried to live out her dreams and it's not working for her. So this one, it says it doesn't work. This Florida waitress says she tried doing what she loved but couldn't afford to live.
Ohio, Illinois, Florida.
Just leave you feeling burned, right? So it says, waiting tables is a common way for students to make extra pocket change while in college, but now many keep serving way past college graduation. Genevieve Sloboda, who goes by Genevieve.show on TikTok, revealed that she is one of these people in a viral video. After graduating with a master's degree in education, she realized that none of the jobs in her field pay enough to cover her rent. Sounds about right, doesn't it, you guys? Sounds about right. Says the Fort Lauderdale, Florida resident took a serving job at a bar instead, which she claims in a since deleted TikTok pays better than a job in education. In this economy, as a post-grad Gen Z, I cannot afford to start a career on a first-year salary. I tried doing what I love. It doesn't work out for me. Jobs in Sloboda's chosen field pay a decent salary. Teachers make a median salary of $61,250, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. This falls slightly above the median national yearly earnings of $59,000. But Sloboda says that when she has worked in education, it was bad news for her wallet. I'd have to take money out of my savings to pay rent. So Rent.com reports that median Florida rent as $2,099 per month, which equals over $25,000 a year. This would mean that Sloboda would spend nearly half, 41% of her $61,250 education salary on rent.
Wow.
So the only reason why she can make this much money serving is because she's somewhat attractive. She probably works in what kind of serving does she do? Bottle service in a club, probably. Is she one of those fresh and fit girls that end up, on Instagram in these clubs popping bottles with these celebrities? Maybe.
We are witnessing the consequences of not having a father at home. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Yep, that's right.
She says,
I agree.
Those servers tend to make less money per year than teachers. The BLS reports a median salary of $29,120 per year. They can make a lot in tips. Servers bring $100 per night. So if you work 5 shifts per week, you can bring in an extra $500 a week. By the end of the year, you'll have an additional $24,000, doubling your salary. So it says for generations, getting a degree was the best way to set yourself apart in the job market. Data even shows that the more degrees someone has, the higher their lifetime earnings. Yeah, but the higher the debt, what's the point of getting your higher earning if you're starting in the hole? Like Jessica says, you're starting in the hole, you guys. It just says we learned that the chicks talk a lot. Climate change is a result of 304 is wasting oxygen.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
You're right. Yeah.
Says but the cost of an advanced degree can get in the way of these earnings. The education data initiative reports that a master's degree holder owes an average of 53,470 to 88,680 in student loan debt, depending on whether they went to public or private college. EDI adds that $86,400 is the average salary for a master's degree graduate. That's a good salary, but for the first few years of post-grad, you would taking all your income and sending it back to the government or your private lender rather than saving it. But once again, a lot of these women, they will not go back in lifestyle to pay off their debt. They'll just pay the minimum and buy a house, buy a nice car, go on trips.
Doug, how foolish are they? Because they don't want to go back in lifestyle, but the lifestyle they got it on a loan, so they got something which they didn't deserve, and they refuse to go back to their initial place. It's very very, very sad, to be like that.
Yep, I agree. It says advanced degrees required for certain professions such as doctors and lawyers. Even industries that don't require higher education may pay more if you have a valuable degree, like in geology or business. Guys, anyone that you know that has a degree in geology, slap them upside the back of the head. Why would you get a degree in geology, you guys? Come on now.
Jesus H. Christ.
Why is that even a thing? Yikes. It says, if you're not sure whether your degree will be worth it, it's not a bad idea to run a cost-benefit analysis when enrolling in a graduate program.
No, wow, really? Wow. I mean, you gotta see what jobs you'd get with your degree. Now that's insane. It's insane.
Yep. Sad part about it is we have the wealth of humans' knowledge in our hands and our freaking cell phones. You can Google how much money am I going to make with a master's degree in freaking arts management? But these women,
they don't even do that.
Do it. Yep.
Yeah, they're so lazy they don't even do that.
Yep. There's no harm in looking into if your degree is likely to increase your salary enough to make taking on student debt or tuition fees worth it. For instance, EDI reports that a master's in education costs $42,010. Now consider your options after graduation. Because the labor statistics says that most schools only require a bachelor's degree, a master's may not help you in education.
Guys, I'm sorry, but isn't this the first thing that you would do? Why? I mean, just to see what would you get with your degree, and she's like imparting wisdom as if it was some kind of a very, very hidden secret. I mean, it's obvious. That's what you got to do. You got to see, well, what can I get? What can I get as a job with this degree? And they don't even.
It's all about
it's wisdom.
It's all about return on investment.
Yeah, exactly. Cost benefit.
If you want to buy a car, look at the reliability rating of the car. I feel bad for people that still buy a American cars. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? It says Pepperdine University says that some schools will increase your salary by 10 to 15% if you have a master's, but it depends on the school district's rules. So Sabota may not be so far off the mark. A master's does not equal a master's does not equal a guarantee. But once again, I don't feel bad for it, guys. You teaching especially, you're not going to make any money.
They're missing the point completely. It's very, very pathetic. They don't understand anything.
So I did this one because, guys, Chapman Fowler Law School, tuition for Chapman Fowler Law School is out of control, you guys. Well, that's undergrad. Let me see. Law school.
Guys, I'm gonna leave you, but I'll stay on the stream. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
For being here, Jessica. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I'm going.
I'll look that up as we start this video here.
Hi, so this video is why I regret going to Chapman University School of Law. So I applied to Chapman University April 9th, 2022, and they accepted me April 19th, 2022. It was just a simple letter in my email that said, congratulations on your admissions. Then on April 20th, I received the offer through email, which was a scholarship offer of $47,000 per year. And then on April 20th, I received an email telling me that the first seat deposit and the letter that you sign that says I accept admissions was due April 26th. So all that to say, I had...
Guys, full-time law school at Chapman Fowler Law School is $63,126 a year.
Jesus H. Christ.
Wow.
Crazy, you guys.
less than a
Wow.
Isn't that insane? Like, what? God. Ugh.
to decide to attend Chapman University. I wish I had had more time to decide because it was a huge mistake. So if you didn't know, Chapman University, they give conditional scholarships. And basically a conditional scholarship means that you get the scholarship the first year. And then if you maintain a GPA of 2.9, you get the scholarship for the second year. And if you, again, have a GPA of 2.9 or above, you get the scholarship for the third year. So Chapman also has an academic policy that puts the curve at 2.8. Now, if you don't know what a curve is, this goes back to math class and all of...
Yeah, banned from the... Appellate said the best. Only a 2.9, and she couldn't even maintain that? Are you serious?
Jesus H. Christ.
Come on now. A 2.9 is like less than a B, right? Isn't it like a C plus or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's
What?
even the point?
I don't know. She's probably gonna say, I had so much going on in my life, and in my mental health. Just watch.
About medians and modes, and it's basically, so a curve goes like this, right? So this is the middle, which means 50% go on this side, 50% go on this side. This right here is your, this number is...
Did you guys hear her cat? Of course she has a cat.
Yep.
your median.
Probably saying feeding time.
What's that?
Probably saying feeding time.
Mm-hmm.
Maximum medium is 2.8. That means everyone has to, half the students can fall above a 2.8 and the other half must fall below. The other thing about this curve is that at least 10% have to fall between a 0.0 and a 1.9. That means if everyone in your class does amazing and gets an A, 10% are required by the grading policy has to get...
Okay, we know all this.
At law school, they break you into 3 sections.
So Doug,
And this is just my opinion.
Yo.
yeah, I want to ask a quick question. What if everybody have high grades? Like nobody feels like then what happens? Like
Yeah, it means that like the higher everyone's grades are, the more screwed the people are at the bottom.
oh
So yeah. So if you they say so it's a curve. So most people probably stay around like a 3.3 to like a 2.7. Understand what I'm saying? So they know that people hover around that. So like if you're starting to drop lower, you got to take some time off work and study harder. But usually that's why they have that little middle spot. But if everyone's getting like a 3.7 and the curve is like a 3.3 or like a 3.5, well then the people that are below 2 are screwed.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yep.
But
Let's get through this here.
evenly,
I want to know how much
that 50%
she had to pay.
drawing
Come on,
skills,
give me the numbers.
what you've learned from my amazing drawing skills is that 50% of the students will lose their scholarship, which means that I know when I'm sending out these acceptance letters and I'm sending out these conditional scholarships and I'm stacking the system to work in my benefit.
All right, I want the numbers.
And anyone who does that knowingly is so low at 2.8. That prevents you, even if you did really well and you performed half right in the middle at the median mark, you still will have a 2.8 GPA. And now ask yourself, when you're submitting to transfer into other colleges and other law schools have a median of 3.1 or a 3.0, who will get accepted as a transfer student?
I want the numbers.
Because again, you're competing with other schools who have a higher median GPA. But I think, and this is just my opinion.
You know what? I'm skipping this one because I thought I heard her say the numbers, but I guess not. So let's go to this one. Okay.
Hey everyone, if you're watching this, then chances are that you once saw this.
He's our best closer.
Well, if you're the best closer, where the hell you been for the last 3 hours?
Well, Gerald, I specialize in troubled situations. And when I left...
Or even this.
That's why she testified that she saw Dr.
Discouraged you from going to law school or told you about how much they hated their lives, and you began second guessing yourself. So I'm going to take on the task of helping you decide whether you should go to law school and become a lawyer. Is becoming a lawyer worth it for you? Whatever she wants, because she's already rich and well connected. For most people, I really wouldn't recommend this route because the point of law school and most education really is to broaden the opportunities available to you, and most people do not have already the opportunities that Kim Kardashian has. Law school is a little unique as a grad school, I think, because it tends to be the default grad school option for college grads who don't exactly know what to do with their lives. Med school requires fulfilling...
I never thought about that. You know, guys, I wanted to go to law school. That's one of the reasons why I have a bachelor's degree in policy. But then I literally saw the debt. And then law school teaches you to argue and teaches you that you're right at all times. And so, yeah, I chose not to go.
The pre-med requirements, which are a lot, including organic chemistry, and in that way forces people to really consider whether they want to go to med school before they even apply. If you're hating organic chemistry junior year and really starting to like software engineering, then that's going to prompt you to reconsider whether you want to go to med school at all. I don't think this is a bad thing. In fact, I wish more...
Hang on a second here.
What's that?
No, sorry, Doug, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this kind of just popped into my mind, a little bit of a brain delay. So you're originally from Washington State.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I actually thought about becoming an attorney myself at one point in life, and the reason I did was because Washington is one of, I believe, 6 states in the entire country where you can actually become a bar licensed attorney through what's called an apprenticeship. So you can skip law school. And I was going to pursue that until I found out that Washington is the one state where you have to have some bullcrap bachelor's degree. And I was like, well, that kind of negates that. But if you already...
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so if you already have a bachelor's degree, like a bachelor's degree in anything, doesn't matter what it is, you can you can, there's quite a few law firms that basically they'll take you under their wing, and basically you're just going to be the the paper pusher, but for 4 years, as long as you're willing to do the grunt work, and the law firm is willing to sign off that you're doing an apprenticeship, after 4 years, you become bar licensed.
Yeah. It says before you can practice law, you will need to choose a state that will allow you to take the bar exam without completing law school. Currently, Washington, Vermont, California, and Virginia are the only 4 states that allow this process. Holy crap.
Jesus H.
Wow,
I had no idea.
It's down to only 4 now. Oh my God! The last time I looked into it, I swear it was 6. But okay, well,
Man, okay, I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
California, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington. Wow.
I never
Man.
knew that.
Yeah, thanks for that.
To really consider along the
Let's
way
see
whether.
that.
First, I want to make a lot of money. To be honest, this is partially why I went to law school in the first place as well. I thought that law would offer a stable and lucrative salary. I saw my mom worrying a lot about money and our house growing up, and that honestly scarred me. So I wanted to make sure that I had a job in the future where money could not hurt me. I did end up graduating and getting that stable, lucrative paycheck from a large law firm. That big law compensation, though, is not typical. Yes, some new law grads will have a salary of $215,000 right out of law school. That salary, however, is not typical. According to now, a fantastic resource, by the way, if you're
See, them says that I need a lawyer. Can I be your first client? What are you talking about, Steve? You're going to be on the moon by then.
during law school or in law school. The median reported salary for the class of 2020 was actually $75,000, which is a far cry from the $215,000 that we see in the news. For new grads working at small law firms, which account for about half of all jobs taken at law firms, salaries of $60,000 to $85,000 are typical. And if you want to work in public interest, disabuse yourself of any notion that you're going to make a ton of money straight out of law school. The government median salary was $64,000, public interest organization median salary was $55,000, and judicial clerk.
So, like, a public interest, like in nonprofits and all that garbage.
Median salary is $60,000. This incredible variance in salaries for new lawyers means that making a lot of money out of law school is not guaranteed. While more than 1/3 of lawyers surveyed reported making over $100,000, more than half surveyed reported salaries of $75,000 or less. Going to a higher ranked law school improves the probability that you might land one of those higher paying jobs, but even that big law salary is not as attractive as it initially sounds. That's because we haven't discussed 2 very important factors: law school debt and work-life balance. While making $215,000 right out of law school sounds great, most graduates do not get to put all that into their bank accounts. Your paycheck will likely be more money than you will have ever seen in your life, but it will also be a lot less than you thought it would be as well, because of taxes, other pre-tax deductions that you should do as a responsible adult, like retirement and health savings, and of course, student loan repayment. The American Bar Association Young Lawyers Division conducted a survey and found that the average student loan debt was $165,000.
Did she say $165,000? Guys, oh my God. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And guys, just to put things in perspective, it costs about $280,000 to raise a child from 0 to 18 in the United States. So you pretty much have a child in debt when you leave law school.
Yes.
The girl in the last story had a kid in student loan debt. It's crazy. And don't forget, you guys, people talk about, the predatory lending, but you have to sign on the bottom line on that promissory note, guys. If you don't sign the line, you won't get in debt.
That's why I say you should always read the what do they call it? The terms and agreements before you sign.
The fine print, they call it. Read the fine print. Yep. Telling you.
Yes.
And 1 in 4 lawyers surveyed borrowed $200,000 or more in student loans.
1 in 4, $200,000 or more.
Jesus H. Christ.
Oh my God! And guys, Washington D.C. is just saturated with lawyers. Saturated. You literally can't throw a rock without hitting a lawyer in Washington D.C. Guys, most politicians are lawyers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of your Congress people, the senators, even at the state level, are lawyers.
That's a lot of debt, and certainly repayable with a big law salary or really any other salary in law. But it still takes time and takes away from your lifetime wealth building. Law is not a get-rich-quick career. Some of the young lawyers surveyed, and this is verbatim, "It's unbearable, and I cannot pay enough each month to cover my loans. My balance climbs even after a month's payment. I lie awake at night worried about whether I will be able to give my children the life my parents gave me, and whether I will ever know the feeling of true financial stability," which is what I was seeking when I went to law school. Student loans made me hate the profession. And
now that those were 3 women that wrote those. It sounds like 3 women, right? Oh, the lifestyle, my student loans, I hate it. You could just tell. And guys, I have no sympathy at all, like none. Remember, guys, we did a story yesterday of the girl that paid $100,000 for her first year. So by the time she leaves law school, she's gonna be $300,000 in debt. But she doesn't care. Remember that yesterday?
Yeah. Yep.
She doesn't care. She's
Yeah,
gonna go to law school.
I didn't get to watch all of it, but I started like watching it like from the first when the stream ended, and I see a lot of foolishness going on, especially that $300,000 that thing. Like, how are you like how are you going to get right like out of it or something? Like, it's gonna be very difficult.
They're not ever.
Nope.
Only way I think could do that is to take a job with the federal government or work at a school or a university and get that 10-year public student loan forgiveness. That's it. That's the only way. But then they're going to have to accept less pay, and they're not going to be able to live the lifestyle that they want to live. And how many women are going to make that kind of sacrifice?
work-life balance isn't always the greatest in law either, impacted in part by the high student debt burden. The typical billable hours requirement in big law is 2,000 billable hours annually, which comes out to about 180 billable hours per month, assuming that you take your 20 days of vacation annually. And because you work more than just your billable hours, especially in the beginning when you're much more inefficient, let's say that for every billable hour you work, you actually work 1.25 hours. And this is being generous. Then to bill.
Yeah, let's not. Does this make law sound so appealing, you guys? All that debt?
Right.
It's crazy, you guys. I just don't. I can't, man. Like, once again, like I said, I wanted to go to law school, but and I think my main inspiration was A Few Good Men. I think because I love that movie, but then I actually the same job where I met that girl who was in debt for UGA law. I met a girl that went to law school at the place that I wanted to go to law school, but her parents were Korean and they were rich, and they paid for her law degree in cash, right?
Wow.
And so her boyfriend, I don't know if they're married, but he was an oncologist, and she wanted to she was only working until he got his residency done, and then she wanted to stay at home and be a doctor's wife. So her parents paid $160,000 for a law degree for her to sit at home and take care of a doctor's kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, you got it.
Can't make this up.
But anyway, well, I am gonna wrap this up here, guys. I'm gonna be out of town Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Come back Tuesday, so no live streams on Wednesday and Sunday this week. I am dropping videos that are Crime Files videos Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if you want to hit that join button, once again, I have to put those videos behind a membership tier because they get limited. Anytime you make a video about a woman committed a crime, even if it's covering the news, it's limited to monetization and you won't make any money. So if you want to join the membership tier called the Crime Files on my channel, I'd really appreciate that. So once again, I'll have some of those videos coming out so everyone can watch them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll start with Colin. What do you think about this whole student loan debt booty payment Germany. Closing words.
Probably about the biggest racket ever run on the American people, particularly
Agreed.
females.
I agree.
And what would you do if you came across a woman, everything was vibing, everything was good, your third, fourth date, and she said, "Hey, like I have $160,000 in student loan debt." What would you do?
I'd be skedaddle out of there.
You'd be me taking off, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Angel, what do you think?
Well,
Closing words on this
that would
whole
I tell you, I agree with Colin though. It's like probably one of the biggest rackets there is though, man. As it's just like what AJ said. I mean, if the only reason why they got drug dealers is because you got people that buy drugs. So it's the same thing with these women though. To them, it's like hey, I look at her degree, no matter what degree, and it's like a status for me. I can move up. I could do great, make a lot of money. And that's not happening though. And it just continues. It's just like a never-ending cycle that just continues. Despite all these videos that come out on TikTok, these women still do it anyway. And they go out there and they make these videos and they expose themselves and they don't even realize what is self-destructive now and in the future for them. It's mind-boggling. To me, it's mind-boggling though, man. I don't know, man.
And remember, student loan debt cannot be got rid of in bankruptcy. So if you have the student loan debt, it's going to follow you around like a chain around your neck for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Pyro.
Another thing I'd like to add too is the whole academia industrial complex, the way that they've been able for the past, well, I'd say probably like 30 to 40 years, the way they've been able to vilify, hardworking blue collar workers in this country is also a crime against humanity. Because honestly, the people that I have the most respect for are farmers, people who fix your cars, people who fix the semi trucks that deliver the food to the grocery stores.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that blue collar workers have been so demonized, is just to me is downright criminal.
I'm doing a video. It's coming out on Saturday about these two teachers. They got fired because the principal told them to change students' grades from an F to a D so they can graduate these kids, because he got principal of the year last year and he wanted to get it again, right? So and here's the thing. I was raised in a household where anyone that would do a job that you wouldn't want to do, give them the respect, all the respect. Our construction workers, even policemen. Hey, you know what? I'm a tall black guy, but I will always give a police a minimum amount of respect because they're supposed to run towards danger while I'm running away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Teachers are another profession of that where I can never be a teacher. And I say that because, once again, women should give men that respect. We do all the jobs that they don't want to do. Any man that's a plumber, if you don't want to get under there and change pipes, give that man respect, ladies. Truck drivers, all these, because you are not doing those jobs. And the reason why you don't have to do them is because those guys are doing it. But that's completely lost in this day and age.
Yeah.
But okay, Pyro, what do you think?
Yeah, about the student loans thing. I think it's a big scam, but everybody already know it's a scam, and yet still these women still go straight ahead and fall for it. Like, and they make sure they get themselves in a situation that they cannot pay for it. Like, they have to just make it past $100,000 in debt. Like, they have to make it at least $200,000 or $300,000 in debt with a useless degree that nobody cares about. And the next thing to the women should always try to find a husband in college, so that that guy makes sure she doesn't like overspend or get a useless degree. So like he steers her in the right direction. If you get what I'm saying,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree, 100%. I agree. Let me wrap this up real quick. So just for me, um, student loan debts. I'll never pity any of these women because you have to sign on the dotted line. They don't force you to go to school. They don't force you to sign up for the debt. And I would argue there are more ways to make money without a degree than in the last 20 years.
True.
You know, if women are willing to do the dirty jobs men are, but then we got to deal with, okay, so you have a woman down in the sewers. Is she going to be able to do the job as effectively as a man? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna close this down. Colin, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Angel, thank you for joining me. Pyro, as usual. AJ
Yeah.
Whiteout, J Man, Steve M, banned from the Republic of Palau, Rich Goodson. Who else was in here? I said AJ. Oh, Jessica, thanks for being on. I appreciate it. Adam A. I think that is Oh yeah, Whiteout. I said him. Anyway, thank you for being here today. Yes, I really appreciate it. Make sure to watch part 1. I did that yesterday, and I will talk to you guys next time.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Bye.
Have a good night, guys.
See you guys soon.
Bye.